Hi Libra, welcome to your February 2019 love reading. It's Rena here, and I am shuffling my Morgan Greer deck. I've been really getting that card a lot. The Hierophant. Okay. Let me just collect these babies. So the heart of the matter, the Hierophant, is connected to Taurus, but it's the meaning of this card is in this context of a love reading can be the issue of marriage, and specifically marriage, not well, I mean, it could be deciding whether or not you want to live with someone, and if you're single, then just the idea of wanting that kind of a relationship altogether. Now, I want to just do the past position. So the Tower is in the past position. Now, if you're single in February, it can be that you get struck with the love bug all of a sudden, maybe in a very unexpected way. And it's funny because I remember one time saying that to me the Tower card for a love reading could be love at first sight, where it's just like, and I think I ended up reading that somewhere else, like that kind of a instantaneous response. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and there was some kind of a dramatic reveal that has to do with a romantic relationship, then you may be reeling from that. Okay, so this would be something that has already occurred that was perhaps very upsetting, maybe even back in, I don't know, like October or so for some people, and that really might have shaken your belief about the relationship you were in to your core. But there might be something within you that is saying, that was terrible, but I have to remain in this relationship because, it's important to stay married, or it's, divorce is a bad thing, because that's what I'm getting at here. If there was some kind of a shocking event that threatened your marriage, you may still be reluctant to leave it. And if you're somebody that is single, like I said, this may be perhaps somebody that you have recently met, and it's such an instantaneous response that you want to just jump and cut to the chase and like, yeah, this is the one for me. You're already thinking about marriage or something like that. So let's keep going. And the higher message, the spiritual message, is the Knight of Cups. So this is a card that is the card of an offer of love, a kind of a chivalrous type of an individual, somebody who may even be like a water sign. So this may be describing this individual. Cancer is the one that I would immediately think of, but I think that card, I don't know if that card connects to Pisces, and Scorpio is the other water sign, and there may even be a connection between the two of you with some artistic endeavor. So if you are somebody who plays music, maybe you go to open mic nights and there is another person there and you have this thing in common, that might seal the deal. That might just simply be where you meet this person. But this is the spiritual message. So the bottom line is that there may be like the Hierophant may be a different person, or it just might be your mentality of like staying in a situation that is not, really for you. But the Knight of Cups as an offer of love is, to me, showing that if you stay in a situation that is really, it might even be characterized as an impossible situation for some of you, that it's really that, far gone, you really can't experience what the Knight of Cups has to offer, which is somebody who you may have like a connection with. Now, this may be somebody you actually know, and this may be somebody that you have a lot of attraction to, that you respect, that you have something in common. I was talking about some artistic thing, perhaps, because this card can connect to that. And yet you're clinging to this tradition, you're clinging to your vows, and not even considering that you can change that. Also, just making space for it on an energetic level, because if you're staying with one thing, then you can't even experience that coming into your life because you're bogged down with this other person. So looking at it from multiple perspectives, it all boils down to, with the Hierophant too, I think there is a sense of, whether you're single or whether you're involved in a relationship, this idea of, what the meaning of life is for you. And for some people, they may feel like they've allowed other people to tell them, what life is. And it's very important that you find it out for yourself and not be indoctrinated by somebody else, by your culture, by tradition, by religion. Your personal philosophy, ethics can be the backbone of that, but it doesn't have to be a certain dogma that may not apply to you, that may not be relevant for you. And what crosses you is represented by the Page of Cups, which is, now this is definitely Pisces with that fish, but it's a card of, allowing gullibility to get the best of you. And again, with the Tower, there may have been some situation that you looked the other way until it got so bad that you couldn't look away anymore. And that may work against you being able to get on with your life, because you may make excuses for somebody. This is a card that I would associate with codependency, because when a person is seeing what they want to see, it's a way for them to avoid having to make a decision and kind of take charge of what they know is, over, and it's very hard sometimes. When people tell me that they left a relationship, especially a long-term relationship, I think, it takes a lot of guts to do that. So I don't mean to make light of such a decision. And if you're single, the same thing applies. It's like people can go through different, they can have recurring situations happen to them where they always attract people who cheat, always experience relationships that start so suddenly and kind of accelerate, and there's no sense of really getting to know the other person, and then they find out when they're already like knee deep in it that that it's not going to work, that the other person's deceptive, or there's just irreconcilable differences between the two. What's coming in is represented by the Four of Cups. This is a feeling of really admitting your dissatisfaction. And I always note this, the clouds offering that cup and that stone face, which is really somebody maybe offering love and being indifferent to that love. And the reason that would be is because in some cases, and this happens, we all know that this happens, where somebody cheats and then they're like lovey-dovey, and they might have done this 1,000 times before and you fell for it, like the Page of Cups. You just, because you wanted so much for them to be telling the truth, and that this time it was going to be different, and they weren't going to be cheating anymore. And now you're just completely done. And it's like, that's actually a good sign, because it means that you can move on in a less painful way. And for, I was just this is just a little joke, but for Libra, a less painful way is being able to actually be very decisive about your actions and not second guess yourself, because that is something that I think you tend to do, and that creates a lot of chaos in your mind, because you're always like, you can say, well, what if, or actually it's not so much what if, but seeing another perspective, like, I can't do this because this person, had a tough childhood, or we have children. I mean, and it is good to see things to put yourself in other people's shoes. I'm not saying that, but not to the extent where you totally get too, confused about how it's going to affect your well-being. And the outcome is the Four of Pentacles. Now, I did get this for another sign, and I was talking about, in a general reading, you see how this person's kind of just hugging these gold coins. It can mean sometimes that somebody is very, greedy, stingy, and things like that. But it can be somebody who's very adept at money management. But in this particular case, because it's the number 4, it can be connected to a solid relationship, and more of a practical situation. Now, one thing I didn't say, I don't know, did I say this at the beginning, that the Hierophant connects with Taurus, and I connect this particular card with Taurus, but it's with all Earth. So Capricorn, which is Libra and Capricorn, tend to go together, or Virgo. And the point being that you may have even had a relationship in the past that the Tower card was kind of the typical, it was par for the course, where there was always a lot of chaos and constant upheaval. And this will be much more peaceful and grounding. Isn't it funny that the last 2 cards I got were 4s? And one of them was 4 of Cups, and that was more about your emotional dissatisfaction, and 4 of Pentacles is about financial stability. But again, since this is a love reading, we're going to read it more as emotional stability. And if it's literally somebody who is an earth sign, you will have certain traits. Maybe the drama will not be there anymore. Maybe you were dealing with somebody who had these, maybe they had mood swings, and they were just like, sometimes it was just, they would do crazy things and keep you always on edge, because you never knew when the next shoe would drop. And so it's actually a very good card for building a future for somebody. So if you're single or even, in an unhappy relationship and you really want that permanent relationship, the Four of Pentacles is a good omen for that. So in any case, Libra, I hope that you enjoyed this, got something from it, and if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Have a great month. Bye.